Nicole Scott here for Netbook News, and we're going to be taking a look at the Padfone today, and specifically the 8 megapixel rear-facing camera. So this actually has an f2.2 aperture, and it's a 5-element lens. So this would lead people to assume that this is a fantastic camera. To be honest, I am not blown away. Let's actually start off with the app itself. So here on the lock screen, we can go directly to camera, and apparently we're right in the gallery. Let's get out of the gallery. Let's go back to the camera. So here we are. Had my finger over the lens. Rule 1 of taking photos, don't do that. So here we have my shelf at home. Very interesting. But looking at the app itself, if you swipe to the right, you'll see that we've got a whole series of features here. We can do pause. We can put effects on. I've actually been noticing that I'm having a pretty good time with photos with flash by turning down the exposure. I can show you that in just another second. We have white balance. There's the exposure that I accidentally went into, and then here we have a whole bunch of settings. We can set the resolution all the way up there. This camera for video is capable of 1080p. So we have shutter touch, autofocus on, face detection, self shutter. Review time off, so when I take a photo I don't get to see it. Power saving mode 1 minute. So there's a whole bunch of extra features here. You click back on here, put that away. So this has the standard ICS offerings that we have. Panorama. I'm not going to do a panorama. Let's get out of panorama. Oops. Okay. Sorry about that. We can switch to the front-facing VGA camera. Ooh. That's not a very complimentary camera. I look much better than that. That looks terrible. Anyways, let's put this back on the rear. With the 8 megapixel shooter, things are looking a lot clearer and nicer. The flash as well. So here's some pictures of my dog. Here's the flash that I was talking about. So if I pulled the exposure down, then the pictures actually looked a lot better. That's with flash. Hard to believe, actually. Yeah, with flash, normal aperture, aperture down. So here we have some nighttime photos. Now this particular photo is zoomed in. I wanted to try to capture that tree to see how well it would show up nighttime. It was on nighttime selection. You can see this photo as well, nighttime selection. Here's the Taipei Arena, again with nighttime selection. I'm not overly impressed. I mean, you can see the headlights on the cars are just everywhere. In this photo there's just some constant blur there. I mean, it was a cloudy night, but it doesn't really need to look that gray. Yeah. This photo here was not taken with nighttime and just with regular, and it turned out pretty good. So now here we are in the daytime photos. So here's a picture of some shoes. Now if you're watching, let's zoom in. I would like it if those edges were crystal clear, but overall, daytime wise, I think the photos turned out pretty well. Here's one of a park. So, actually this is in the middle of a road, between a busy road. So here, just watch me zoom in on these flowers. I mean, we do get a fair amount of detail there. I mean, you can actually see the flower in the center, but like if you zoom out, that's pretty small. So here's that panorama that I was talking about. Here's the Taipei Arena during the day. The camera definitely takes much better daytime shots than it does nighttime shots. Here's a video I took of a guy with a wind devices and lovely jeweled bears selling on this street. Yeah, so that's been a closer look at some of the photos and the capabilities of the Padfone. It's not bad. The camera's not terrible. I'm not a photog, so I can't really go into too much crazy detail on it. But at the same time, as just somebody who relies on this as my main camera for when I'm showing people scenes of my wonderful life in Taiwan, I want something that will like really take a nice photo. And daytime-wise, I'm really happy with how this is standing up. Nighttime, not so much. But so far, quite pleased. I would have expected it to have a much better performance just based on the specs that you read. I'm Nicole Scott for Netbook News, taking a quick look at the Padfone.